Hi. Hello. Hi. Hello, my friends. Jacob is here once again. Welcome to the program. Full disclosure, okay? I have been drinking a little bit of wine, just a little bit. This is my second glass. And I'm not trying to glorify it or anything. I gotta be honest. It's been a tough week. It's been a tough week. I've been in a good mood. I always say if you're gonna drink, you shouldn't drink to get in a better mood. You should drink because you're in a good mood. I figured, what the heck? I have a little wine. I have a little vino. Little Francis Ford Coppola Merlot. Merlot instead of Merlot, because it sounds a lot better. Well, if you're still with the program, and I'm grateful that you are, we're going to talk about some things today. We're going to talk about the Vatican, the Pope. What else is new, right? How many times we got to talk about these people, these characters? It's like we're in a big movie. It's like a big X-Files episode. And it just keeps getting more and more interesting, doesn't it? But we keep finding out how corrupt everything is. You know, we just keep finding out how corrupt everything is. It turns out the Vatican, we already knew they were a little corrupt, right? We knew this. Turns out we find out that Pope John Paul, the guy who's a saint, he knew about a bunch of abuse. Oh, Nanny, I'm sorry, Pope John Paul. He was just like them all. It's like them all. My nanny had the plates, and they liked the Catholic Church. It's a big religion. They got a lot of power, a lot of money. Turns out there's a little bit of an issue with the saint. He knew about some terrible abuse that went down. Go figure. Nobody talked about it, but Francis knew about it. Pope Francis, yeah, he knew about it. But he still made him a saint. The way the things are going right now, it's like I figured like a glass of wine would be fun, and I figured I'd share with you what my kids get to see every month or so, which is the fact that Dad is like the biggest lightweight on the planet. So I had a glass already, and this is my second glass. It's a big glass, but I had it filled to about here. So now you're gonna get Jacob in a different type of environment, and I think that because everything's about to be locked down again, I think that's acceptable for today. I think that'll be fun, right? Because we're gonna be talking about really corruption when it comes to God, right? Send your kids to church to learn about God, and they end up in, oh golly gee, buckle up, people. Welcome back to the program. I am Jacob Hisley, and I'm still here, sharing the important news with you all. All the important things that you need to know about. Good grief. So, if you hadn't been told already, turns out that the Vatican's pretty corrupt, right? And they've had some big issues, financial issues. Not just all the stuff that, you heard about Vigano, right? The Archbishop who says that the deep state has infiltrated the church and all the, New World Order stuff, right? You gotta understand something. I was like a poor kid growing up in an Italian neighborhood. Right, and St. Roch's, it was my church. We go to my church, and my buddies, they were like altar boys there, and to hear it be in a New World Order and all that stuff, it's a little strange, because I remember going to those church steps, and I remember being told that that's where God was found. And, that was a place that was a nice place for me. I used to go there by myself. My parents didn't take me. I used to walk down the street because back where I lived, right back in the day, you walk down the street. You walk to school. It was like 1.5 miles, 2 miles through the woods by the dump. But the church, those church steps, was something about it. You see it, and you were raised to think that it was this holy place. Then as you go on in life, you find out it's not that holy, and it's pretty abusive, and it's not that great. And they didn't teach you anything, and everything they taught you wasn't even really true. And so the problem is a lot of people don't go after the truth. They don't follow after the truth. They don't really they kind of give up because they're like, oh, well, look how corrupt this is. Just like the Pope right now in the Vatican. He gave the Secretary of State like 3 months to transfer all their money into a different account. You know why? Because they had some really shady business dealings with like the mob. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but like shady characters all over the place when it came to real estate. And we're talking a lot of money, hundreds of millions of euros missing. All donations. All donations. Ironic, right? Donations, like my nanny. It was she cleaned houses. She cleaned houses of people that had like money, Well, money I would consider to be money. They weren't very wealthy. They just had like a couple of houses, that they rented out. But back where I was, my nanny was like, she was she'd be like a maid, but her faith, and it was a big deal. And they gave their money, and when the basket came around, and it turns out, they're buying property, they're doing a bunch of stuff that's just... So there's this big financial scandal that came out, and it's been around. This isn't anything new. The Secretary of State's like the second most powerful person at the Holy See. You understand, the Vatican's a powerful place, right? The news is, the pontiff just met with Biden. It's the big news, right? Because it's so powerful. So powerful. He makes saints of people that promote people that abuse children. Just want to put that in perspective. And so the people that want to find God, that's where they're sent. That's where you find God. These places should be ashamed of themselves. Francis wrote, you got to move the funds. You got to get the funds out of here. You messed up. You got 3 months to get things in order. Now, Cardinal Pell, which is interesting. You remember Cardinal Pell? The guy they were gonna put him in jail because of all the abuse of children. And he got off. But he actually said, listen, he said, Cardinal Pell, the guy famously said in 2014 that he discovered hundreds of millions of euros that were tucked away in a particular sectional account, and that it didn't appear on the balance sheet. These are the people that are supposed to be representing God. That's why I get a kick out of the people that sometimes have these little weird things to say, these weird things to say that like, I'm coming on here, to somehow get you to give me. I haven't asked for anything. I don't want anything from you. I got a job, right? I'd like you to share the videos around, and I'd like you to subscribe, and I'd like you to tell your friends. And if anything that I share here, I hope that it encourages you to go to God, because that's the answer, right? You're not going to find anything here. It's going to be the answer. Like I say all the time, right? You come to Jacob's Well. If you come here, it's great. If you're thirsty, right? You want a little inspiration, that's great. But you're going to thirst again if you walk away. Here's the problem, is that religion has messed everything up. Look at how corrupt these people are. And they're still in charge. So Cardinal Pell, he had his clash with the secretary. And then it was revealed that he was doing horrible things to children. So I guess that put an end to that. But it's the story of Christ. Who was it that betrayed Christ? It was the person who held on to the money. It was the person that was making the money off Christ's name. was Judas, right? The one that praised, because Judah means praise. It was Judas. It was the one that was pointing out everybody else's flaws and saying, why did you let that woman, rub your feet with that ointment so your feet weren't so stinky? When you could have sold that ointment, we could have given it to the poor. That's the same guy who sold out Yahshua in the garden with a kiss. That's the symbolism of religion today. Religion's a mess, people. That's why I left it. I left it a while ago, where I worked, I worked for Christian TV. Because I thought that was the place. And then I was like, you know what? Forget that. I'll share it for free on YouTube. And then here I am. I had no idea that we'd be reaching this many people. So I try to keep it a little bit different than other places. Doing the best that I can. Trying to encourage all of you to ask for the truth no matter what the cost, to not believe what these religious elites have told you. I mean, scandalous, some of the things that's going, scandalous. How much money, how many business dealings that were shady that they dealt with. But the fact that you're going to make somebody, Pope John Paul II, he's a saint. Everybody knew that he overlooked the nonsense with this archbishop who abused children. Everybody knew this. Francis makes him a saint. What does that say about the reality of faith today? Because that's where people go to find God. What does that say about where everybody's going to find the truth? It says to me that the world's kind of a kooky place, kind of a mess. I don't know what I can do to make things better. I do these little videos, and I do them in such a way, I'll be honest, right? The Francis Ford Coppola Merlot never lies. I do these videos, I act a little goofy. Because I don't want you to take me as seriously as I think that people should. Because, I really do have faith in God. I really do. And I really look at things today and I see just such hate and such division. And I really do. I see such... And I gotta tell you, when I have these goofy little dreams and when I come on here and I tell you about these little dreams and I start to see things playing out that I worry, I just hope that it encourages people at least to maybe ask God, hey, are you real? Are you there? Because the world's... Listen, I got this feeling, okay? And maybe that's the reason why I came on here today like this. I got this feeling that we're in the second... Remember I told you the 2 eclipses, right? Remember I told you about 3.5 years in, it was going to start to show the signs. Buckle up, right? But the second half is upon us. And the direction it's going, it's, it's interesting. It's interesting. Because there's part of me that really does believe that I had this, kooky dream about Trump with the casket. Talked about this. Did a show about over a month ago about this. Didn't really understand what it all meant. But here's Trump with the casket. I'm carrying the casket and he's alive and he's laughing, he's dancing. And I was so confused in the dream. I'm like, I don't get it. You're dead. And I made a point of saying to everybody, what does the moss mean? There's moss everywhere. And you know what I get from people? It's the swamp. Moss is equated to the swamp. That was my answer. The comment section, like this one. Also, I remember there being I noticed there was moss on the bottom of the casket. Moss that was growing there. There's got to be some deeper meaning. I haven't taken a second to think about it. So if you know, put it in the comment section. But maybe this dream means nothing, right? I didn't think it meant anything. I didn't come on here and share it with you. But in the dream, the president was smiling, he was laughing, he was having a great old time. And here I am carrying this and I didn't understand. I'm like, oh! And then I woke up and I'm like, oh, I get it. it's going to be like a fake thing, right? So like in the dream, I thought, oh, it was like a symbolic. So then election day, I come and I tell everybody I'm worried. Oh, it's going to look like he's going to have political death. But he's dancing alongside of me. And so then I have this little crisis of faith, right? And I'll be honest with you. Because part of me really believes that this is all, like I kind of say it. But like part of me believes this is all going to get reverted to Trump. And then I say these things to you. And, you're all going to have these opinions on why I think that, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. I wish I didn't have this goofy feeling. I wish I didn't have that stupid dream. Because now it's like in my head, I'm looking at these things, like Trump just put out a tweet. He says something about Dominion, right? Dominion. By the way, one day I'm going to tell you all about my novel that I wrote in 2008. About the first chapter of my novel that takes place in 2022. We're going to talk about this. It's going to be a lot of fun. About the lead character of the story and his high counselor of Dominion on the other side. Soon I will have the second edition will be re-released. It was a Christian company that was like embezzling money, so I got the rights back, and I just never got it republished. You can get the ebook of the first edition if you'd like. You get an idea what I'm talking about. It's in the description below. It's like $5 or something. I send you an email. They were in as it's a very interesting one. And when you have all the people in charge, it's just a little much, right? Sometimes. And I do have hope, and I'm not scared, because fear is the enemy, right? Because God doesn't give us the spirit of fear. But not a lot of you that are watching right now really have the same faith in God that I do. But just like I said, when those two eclipses were coming to America, the judgment was coming, and then Trump was on the judgment card. And I said that this was going to be a time of great testing like never before. We're in it, and it's like I can't stress enough now that I've had a little bit more than I should have drank. Maybe a little bit more before I come on and talk to all of you. But I'm 50. I'm a responsible man. Oh God, I'm such a lightweight. Maybe if I do this, right, you won't take the words that I'm saying so seriously. Maybe it's a subconscious thing. I'm concerned about the next couple of years. Somebody told me that in between those two eclipses that the day when the president becomes the president is sworn in again, that happens smack dab in the middle, but turns out it's not true. I was hoping it was true because I thought that would be a great show. Turns out it's not true. It's very close. Something else is happening smack dab in the middle, but bottom line is, it doesn't really matter because everything's happening right now. Now, I want to ask all of you something. And yes, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Right? I'm talking to you right there. That's right. You. You've had all this time. It's been a long time. Have you connected with your family? Have you forgiven people that have, wronged you? Have you taken this time to perhaps eat healthier? I say that as I'm drinking. But have you? Have you taken the time to be a little healthier? Sometimes, even this for me is it can be a healthy thing when Dan and I have a glass of wine. It's very rare, as you can tell. But have you? Have you taken this time to reconnect, to build that romance back into your life? Are you wasting your time looking at everything and looking at everybody and seeing all the wrong in them? Or are you taking this time to be like, wow, you know what? I have a roof over my head. I have a soft place that I can go to sleep on. I have people that love me. I have people I love. I have a job. I have assistance. I have help. God provides regardless. That's the most important thing, is people have to understand that God provides regardless. The scriptures say that, you look at the lilies of the field and look at how beautiful they are, right? They don't toil. They're not worried about the next fashion show. They're not worried about what the next, hue of purple is, right? The lilies of the field, they're arrayed more beautifully than Solomon, King Solomon was in all his glory. Little flowers, the field that grow up. What about the birds of the air? They toil, they worry about where they're going to get them. What about those squirrels that break in every time to my bird feeder, hanging upside down, ripping the thing off and just feeding their face? Do those squirrels stay stressed out? Are they worried? All these animals, they have enough to eat. Why do we worry so much about the days ahead? Maybe it's time that we pray and we, return to our home. In the grand scheme of things, we are God's creation and we are his children. And we just forgot, took upon ourselves the sins of the world. The scripture says that we were crucified with Christ. That as in Adam, we died. We became ignorant of the truth of who we are. We have more power over this experience than we know. So the more of you that start to love, start to forgive, the more of you that are in positions of power and authority, and those that can influence people that are in positions of power and authority, the more of you that do the right thing, the world will change. And for those that don't, I promise you, it will stink. So, you're on notice. You're on notice. Don't do the wrong thing. A person reaps what they sow. And that's probably why the Vatican right now is being revealed for, the snake that it's become, which is probably why it looks that way. You're in the back row, the auditorium. Gosh, isn't life interesting? I love each and every one of you. Please don't hold this show against me. Please don't hold this show against me. Yeah, that makes sense. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your friends, have the best day ever. I love you. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching Jacob Israel. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and share this channel around. If these shows have helped you, help Jacob to reach more any way you can, and have the best day ever.